One of the keys to leadership is holding people accountable. Leadership is a craft. Now, there's a whole lot of nonsense out there. Oh, Agile doesn't need leaders. Agile doesn't need managers. What a crock of baloney. Any organization bigger than 3 people will have a clear leader. That's it. There's politics starts kicking in as soon as you get above 3 people. Well, being married, I could suggest that politics can start with 2, but, that's another story. The point is, when you are leading, you have to delegate to be an effective leader. Now, when you delegate, that means that you are asking people to do a task within certain boundaries. And this ties into my leadership model. You need to be clear on the purpose, communicate the constraints, and trust people to get on with it. Now, people can only grow if you give and receive feedback, which means you need to be open to it as well. But you need to hold people accountable. If you ask people to do something, check in with them that they've done it to the standard required and let them know whether they've achieved that or not. And if they haven't, hold them accountable to it. A really simple thing. Growing up, my dad was a contract cane harvester, and I'd go and help him. And little things, every little job, he taught me how to do the job. And it might seem a trivial thing, but rolling hoses, rolling wires, rolling cables, it's a thing, right? When you get a cable 20 meters long, getting it to roll up nicely so that you can put it away, it takes some practice. And he'd come along and check and say, oh, yeah, that's good. And watch how you do it. Taught me how to do it. Watch me do a few. And then as time went on, he'd do it. But after a while, if I put in a sloppy rolled cable, it'd be like, you can do that again. That's not good enough. And by demonstrating leadership, by showing me how to hold people accountable, helped me lead people. How many times have you seen a situation where people just have mailed it in? They just haven't done the job and the leader doesn't say anything. How many times have you seen situations where somebody in the team, for whatever reason, isn't performing and no one says anything? It's not good enough. Your duty of care as a leader is to respect that person and hold them accountable to the standard of work that you desire. Like, if you're clear about it and you've communicated it, you have to hold them accountable to that. That means giving feedback. Yes, you've done that job to the standard required or exceeded it, or that's not good enough. What are we going to do about it? That doesn't mean that you then do their work. It means you get them to repeat the work. Now, this also means that you need to put in feedback loops with your people. You need constant communication. If anybody gets to a half-yearly or yearly review and they find out their performance is not good enough, you have failed as a leader. People need to be talked to, called out at the first instance where they're not playing the game. Now, there's a flip side to this as well. You should be encouraging your people to seek feedback and to check in. And I love this principle, and it comes from Jocko Willink and Leif Babich and Extreme Ownership. You've got to own the message up and down. So with that leadership model, if you go, oh, my leader hasn't told me my constraints, well, do something about it. Go and check in with your leader and get the constraints from them. That leader's going to appreciate the clarity that you're bringing to the situation. Holding people accountable and being willing to be held accountable yourself and modeling that. When people give you feedback, modeling accountability, owning the feedback, course correcting, you are then visibly modeling leadership. Now, there's a lot of people that think that Agile is just about people being happy and, basically sitting on the beanbags, playing guitar, singing Kumbaya. That's probably the reason that a whole lot of Scrum Masters were let go in 23, because that's all they were doing. They weren't helping teams deliver, holding them accountable for done, helping them focus on throughput and effectiveness, using evidence-based metrics to measure performance and improve, helping product owners measure the metrics of the changes they're making to their product, helping them manage their product, because a product owner is an agile product manager. Now, if you as a leader are not instilling evidence-based accountability in your people and teams, you are failing them. When you help people use this mechanistic, empirical, scientific approach to work, it's clearer for you, it's clearer for them, and everyone can be awesome. Agile is ruthless on value and compassionate with people. Now, you can only be ruthless on value if you measure it, and you can only be compassionate with people if they've got clear boundaries to work with. But you need to hold people accountable to operating to both. If not, you're failing as a leader.